Hi, Internet. My name's Adam Dilbeck.
And I'm Nicole Gunn.
And we are the Mid-Marketers at X2. Why don't you tell us a little bit about what we do, Nicole?
God, I hope we record that, please. So what do we do at X2? Well, actually, X2 is a fairly new brand rollout or update, however you want to look at it. Formerly Incentive Solutions, that was the parent company, and One Affinity. Before that, before the acquisition of One Affinity, companies like LoyaltyWorks, Axiom were all acquired, really building to our repertoire of product offerings.
There's a lot of blocks in this foundation. Would you say
There's
that?
a ton of blocks.
A lot of building blocks.
Incentive Solutions, I think, will always kind of be the
big one?
Primary building block that we've all built upon. But ultimately, we're X2 now. So X exponential, 2 play on squared for growth. That's what we're here to do is help companies grow, help the employees grow, whether internal employees or our partners' employees. So yeah.
So what do we do here at X2?
Really, we're a MarTech company with a splash of white glove services. And, so what does that mean? Well, what that means is we provide incentives through channel marketing automation and a bit of learning management solutions, right? And really the goal for us is to bring it all in one house so that mid-market companies and really marketing and salespeople across the globe have a true single supplier for these types of technologies, right? The industry that we play in, that we serve, that we play in, it's really complicated, and everything's really across channel as a whole. Things are so fragmented, right? And so the long-term goal for us is how do we bring it all in one shop so that you have one provider, one place to log in, you can see data across your channel tactics, the omni-channel, marketing behaviors that you're putting out. And so that's what we do here. Historically we have been a lot of white glove service, so very service heavy.
Nothing but.
Right, but as the world, and don't get me wrong, we still have that because sometimes, especially in down economies, people need help. Marketing budgets are being cut. Marketers are typically the first to go, which, by the way, if you're a company who does that, shame on you. But we can help you when that happens, right? But that being said, we also know that there are, most of us, this millennial and especially the Gen Zers, we want to put the power of what we do in our own hands, with technology being at the forefront of that. It just becomes a lot easier for us to all do. So we are really moved to a SaaS-based model where you can easily sign up, you can go and you can run your programs really effectively and really quickly without the service if you don't want it or don't need it. So
yep. And we speak from experience because we've had a lot of service providers ourselves. And not having it all in one place sucks because you're gotta log in here, you gotta log in here, you gotta call this account.
We've even worked with some companies who have 3 and 4 logins for their one product. And you're like, well, why?
It blows.
I don't want to have to go and then have to aggregate my own data and build my own Excel sheets. And by the way, for those who went into marketing and creative fields, a lot of us don't love Excel. We use Excel, but we would much rather go play in the more fun technologies that make our lives really simple and don't cost hours of resource time to do. And unfortunately, that just...
Big ups to Canva for that.
You love Canva. You're such a Canva promoter.
I am. It's good stuff. They've got it all right there. It's really
old
easy.
School
it's helpful.
Design. Yeah, we went to Adobe, but I will say you're so on point, and I love Adobe. I'm not saying anything negative about Adobe and any stretch, but Canva is very simple to use. I had to do my mom's... she's had... Oh, mommy, if you see this, you don't know this yet. But her birthday's coming up, and so we're doing this party at my sister's house in Florida. She's on the Alabama-Florida line. Anyway, I went to go build the invitations, and I actually went to Canva for the first time. Usually I do it all in Adobe.
It's a good place to be. Even our art director / one of our producers here, now
Ken Spendor.
Ken Spendor, when they're making templates for us to use that are really easy instead of trying to fuck around in PowerPoint, Canva, so we can just go in and change stuff.
By the way, you should know that we are X2. We are a company drops the F-bomb. It's actually in our employee handbooks. Part of our culture code, right? We aren't afraid to be modern and to say language. As a matter of fact, you'll see in one of our values, own your ish, is one of them, and we mean it here.
I don't know what this ish is about. We say bad things.
I'm trying to watch my language. I'll be a first class lady, but no, the truth is you're gonna hear some things. We get down and dirty on this show, and by dirty, not that kind of dirty, guys. Don't go there.
So I believe we've been told by our other producer, Jennifer Jorgensen, to talk a little bit about ourselves. So I'll let you start because you're more important and you're the chief marketing officer. Tell the world about where you come from, what you do.
So on a technicality, I am not more important, not even a little bit.
She's not. I agree.
No. Okay, I now take it back. This guy's a dick, isn't he? But anyways, so you should know that Adam and I, before we dive into we have actually known each other since we were 12 years old. Maybe sooner, but 12 is what I really, really remember. And as you learn, hopefully you guys will start joining us more frequently, and you'll learn that some of the things I'm going to say may sound like lies, but in truth, he used to be this shy little guy. Not little, he was just a shy guy. Kind of sat in the corner, shy little rich kid, right? And everybody was like, oh, he's got a tanning bed, and he's got a parrot, all these things, right?
My mother had a tanning bed.
Your mother had the talking bird too. But nonetheless, the point is you're going to learn that Adam is very verbose. Shy is not a word I would ever use to describe him now.
No mas.
But also you'll start to see our relationship. And I think what makes us so good together is that there's nothing that we don't know. We've been actually best friends since we were about 16 years old. And
yep.
While I won't give away our ages right now, I think it brings that human element, that really real factor to what we're doing today, because not only did we grow up together, but we have worked so closely together for the last 15 years. And that we have a lot that we can share. And like I said, we've probably been through pretty much all of it.
Been through some battles together. And now
some good parties too.
And now we're mid-market.
We're not going to go through all that though.
No.
So talking about me, Jennifer made sure for me, or wrote down that I need to mention, I actually did become a VP of marketing and a CMO before the age of 40.
Woo woo.
Woo woo. But it's and female CMO, I think, before the age of 40, which isn't always something
hell of a milestone.
But I do think that there's some really great female CMOs out there, some really great business leaders before the age of 40. Now we're starting to see such a turn there. So to you ladies under 40 out there, keep up the good work. It can happen too. For anybody under the age of 40, it can really happen to you. It's pretty wild. But, going back, my career has largely been built on mid-market and in the SMB space. And I love it there largely because that's where innovation really happens. And that's where you get to touch a lot of different things. And so, I have worked at some enterprise companies, and it was good. I don't want to say that it wasn't, but it was very much a stick into your lane kind of thing. And
small fish, very big pond.
Right.
You can't really change anything. Here's protocol. You just do what you're told.
Right. And you're making really hard decisions that really affect a lot of people. But I think that, in mid-market, you two are doing it here, and it may seem like it's on a smaller scale, but you just get to touch so many. You see the results of it so much bigger and better to me that it just became a much more fun space. I've largely spent my career here, and one of the things I loved about that is, and we're going to talk about it a little bit more, I think, in depth, but the idea of being scrappy. Because one of the things we've always had is small budgets, right? Like when you're in a mid-market business, you don't have millions upon millions of dollars to go to market with and really drive results. You have a very small budget, but you still have to drive results that are seemingly impossible. Sometimes you just have to sit back and laugh and go, is it... Seriously?
You're like, really? $1,200 a year? And I got to bring in 6,000 leads?
I got to bring in, like, I'm responsible for how much? But they mean it, right? Yeah. And so I think why we always worked well together is even though it was seemingly a very daunting task, we always found a way to pull it off. And it wasn't always necessarily that we were just working around the clock to do it either. It was that we had to be really tactful and smart in what we did.
We were also working around the clock, but yeah, I agree.
I mean, if you think about it, we've always had a good work-life balance. We can't bullshit there and say that we didn't. There are plenty of times where I was like, I remember telling Steve, our founder, CEO, one time, like, look, my attitude is not in check today. I need to go home, take the afternoon, and I will show up on Monday. This is on a Friday. I will show up on Monday ready to go.
Yep.
But I'm not going to perform for you today. And he was really great because he goes, okay, I understand. Go home. I came back Monday ready to go. So it was never, I don't feel like, yes, we're all going to put in long hours. If you ask anybody in working America today, they're probably going to tell you that at some point in their career, they put in long hours. If they haven't, you're right. They're probably not really trying to climb the ladder.
They're probably not marketers.
Definitely not marketers.
That's a fair point, yeah.
You know what I mean? So it kind of comes with the territory, but that part I always did like. You know what I mean? That whole idea of being scrappy. And actually, the Open Table podcast that Patrick Lencioni hosts, it's a really great podcast. He actually does an episode about being scrappy and why scrappy is often, he would prefer the scrappy business person to the one who comes, I think his exact words from like the Harvard Ivy League sort of trained, where everything has a very finite process and it takes a long time to do, because sometimes you just have to be scrappy. It was one of my favorite podcasts I've ever heard, or episodes that they did, because I think it speaks so true to mid-market and actually what we're trying to accomplish here. Because one of the things we notice, guys, is doing our research, there aren't a lot of podcasts focused on mid-marketers. They're really focused on these experts from these enterprise, companies who are telling you how to go and run marketing, but sometimes you don't have those luxuries that they do, right? I.e. big budgets, massive teams, etc.
Well, and they've got big budgets, but they're all doing the same thing too. Like it's all the same website. It's the same landing pages.
True.
They've got the same ads, the same webinars. No, don't get me wrong. You guys are making great content. It's working, but
mad respect. But
for marketers, doing the same thing that everybody else is doing is not really.
It's not innovative.
Good. Yeah.
And that's the thing. You have to be innovative, and let's be real. We have to do some of the same. Like we know we're gonna have to have a landing page. We know we need chat up. Like there are things that we have to do, but there are ways that we can communicate. And in fact, it goes back to I keep saying scrappy, but I think that innovation is for a mid-market and small business is so necessary in order to compete with these bigger companies. And who's helping that guy?
Nobody.
Right.
Yeah.
Who's helping us?
We're helping.
We're
that
helping
guy.
us.
That's what we're doing.
That's
we're
a better answer.
Yes,
we're here.
We're mid-marketers working for mid-marketers who are doing some hopefully not so mid-marketing. That's what we're mid-marketers, but we don't do mid-marketing. We do great marketing.
Our previous CEO, Mark Herbert, was really big into leadership management. He used to do some book clubs with us, along with our actual corporate leadership guru. His name is Larry Hart. So we've done books together, books as leadership teams, but also we've taken those books and we've done book studies with our teams. So he is first and foremost, I think, a leader in team building and management, right? He really understands that. So leadership management. Some of the books that we've done here are Death by Meeting, right? I'm sure you all have heard of that. 5 Dysfunctions of a Team and the Advantage. All those we actually used in-house. We actually give the 5 Dysfunctions as a team away as part of our one of our book inclusions in our swag bags for all new employees. So that one is a big one for us. But mostly, or I say most importantly, we actually use the Working Genius. So if you guys haven't seen the Working Genius, highly, highly recommend that you guys go and take a peek. We all became massive followers of that podcast, and then we actually turned on Working Genius. So whenever we do new hires, we actually put them through that test, and it has actually really helped us a lot. This is both good and bad. That we have made some hiring decisions based off the results we've gotten of Working Genius. So we've in both ways, right? Meaning, this person is Jen. You were one of them. And actually, you were interesting. So for those of you who don't know, Jen's our producer here.
Jennifer Jorgensen
in the house.
What?
But she took the Working Genius, and I remember there was something in there. It was funny because I have to go back and look specifically, but there was one we really had to drill you on because we wanted to make sure that you were going to be able to come in and essentially manage campaigns. It wasn't just this. I like the creative side, but I'm not good at actually executing. But as you can all see, hopefully over the next couple of weeks, she's pretty good at executing too. So it helped us make some really good hires.
Big ups to Gen Z. That's what we like to call her.
So we're clearly promoting today Canva and Patrick Lencioni.
Patrick, Gen Z, Ken. Enough about you. What about me? I get to introduce
the
myself.
punny guy. Yeah.
I'm Adam. I believe I said that earlier. I've been with X2 a total 9 years over a 14-year period. Mm-hmm. I left in the middle to try some new things, but I'm back better than ever.
He missed me. Shut up.
Yeah.
He did. Liar.
Yeah, totally. No, but I went to, how did I get into marketing? How did I get here? I came out of school, went into computer stuff, computer information systems. That sucked. So I ended up going into, it did. I'm not going to lie. We do computer stuff, but working in like the framework and the architecture and engineering, like not for me. Clearly, you'll see, I'm so ADHD and creative brain, whatever. Computer programming, not for me. Ended up going into construction, which I did drywall, and then I went into selling stuff, managing for Home Depot and different paint providers and material manufacturers and whatnot. And during all that, my dear friend Nicole here, who has known me because of my tanning bed since I was 16 years old.
He was the punny. Honestly, the reason I loved him is because he was always so funny. This is the only guy I know who can, within seconds, he can take any sentence you say and turn it into some sort of headline or tagline, and you're going to laugh. He also has this weird knack for memorizing all the words to every rap song that's ever been made, and he can just belt it out. I don't know. Movie lines too, guys.
Yep.
It's the weirdest thing.
But yeah, Nicole was like, she saw that and was like, you fucking need to get into marketing. Like, you really need to get into marketing. So I went to the Creative Circus, RIP, because it's not there anymore because this new generation doesn't need ad school. They have TikTok and AI and all that stuff, and they get 1 million followers and influencers, and they don't have to learn shit. Bless you.
Well, it's not that they don't. Okay,
they do.
For all those
they
millennials,
do. It's different.
I want you guys, the millennials, to write this down. Adam said it, not me. But I actually do think that the millennials they learn at such a young age in such a different way, right? Like
it's part of who they are. Like, it's just part of like their
totally
new culture.
Well, it's like we were millennials, right? People used to say, "Oh, we're the lazy generation," and they're never going to amount to anything. Well, screw you guys. We just thought differently. And Gen Z, I think, is the same way. And we actually would be devaluing, I think, our business and ourselves if we didn't pause, take a step back, and go, "Okay, what can they teach us?"
Yeah.
Right?
Oh, absolutely.
Or, to hell with teaching. Can you guys just go do it? Because I'm at an age now where I will hire you to do that because my brain doesn't comprehend things in that capacity. And it's funny, looking back, I can remember older bosses where I was like, well, I don't think they understand what I'm saying. I get what they were doing now. Like, okay, just bring these young people in.
You're like, you click the trash icon to delete your email. And they're like, I don't want to do that. Anyways, yeah. But yeah, so I ended up here. Went out in the world, did a little real estate. I've been in all kinds of building stuff, which is nice because we do a lot of building industry. Like that's who we love to help. That's who we have good stories for and who we've done good work for. So yeah, I'm one of them.
You're one of them.
Builders.
Well, actually, I think what's interesting about Adam, and I always feel like I'm like, I should be your PR rep, but it's, Adam, when he went to the Creative Circus, and for those of you who aren't familiar with the Creative Circus, it was really this school built and taught by advertisers.
Advertising
right?
boot camp.
Exactly right, and I remember there were
criticism boot camp too.
Which you take criticism great unless you're hungry, in which case that whole hangry thing is like Adam's Achilles heel. Yeah. But you would be up just around the clock working on creative. I always want to say headlines, but it wasn't just that, because you were really creating little mini campaigns. And I can remember some really, really great campaigns that you worked on. And I think it's really interesting with Adam because, as we said before, it was taught by advertising industry gurus, right? And when I say gurus, these were like creative directors and really agency directors
in the business creating amazing work. Like right then, it's not like they're on the oh, I had my career and I'm going to come in and
I'm going to teach,
do whatever.
Or I never
Some
actually
people
did it.
No hate, but
But you know what? That's a true thing. You have all these college professors who are teachers, whatever, teaching these classes, and where you are at an advantage. You were taught by. They didn't have to have I have an MBA in order to teach. No, they had real hands-on experience and could bring that. And how invaluable is that? Because now you get these teachers and they're like, oh, I wanted to be a teacher, so I got an MBA in this, but they never actually had the experience. And I don't care what anybody says, hands-on experience is so different than any certification, any degree that you get. Like, it is just vastly, vastly different.
Everybody's got a plan until they get punched in the mouth. Same thing. Like, it's theoretical, but then when it really happens.
So violent, you guys. I don't know. You had big offers from some of the top advertising agencies across the country. And Adam, actually, how he ended up here, and I don't want to say he took a step backwards, because that, it's not so much that, is that he made, Adam's a family man, I think is how you've worded it before.
Yeah, that's a good way to put it.
And he was like, I'm going to put my family first. His wife was starting her career in real estate. And for those of you who don't know, real estate requires a lot of upfront investment. And so he had just adopted Jennifer's daughter. They just got married. And, at the time it was really, you put them first, and not many people truly put family above their career.
But I still do too. Yeah.
I'm going to ask Jalen about that. That's his daughter later. She's going to be like, no, he tells me to get out. I keep holding on. He's trying to throw me out.
No,
just kidding.
I'm trying to build character
Oh,
Yeah,
okay.
it's a difference.
We'll have her on this podcast. We're going to figure out what she thinks he's trying to do. I'm just kidding.
Anyway, let's talk about you now, huh?
What about me?
Let's talk about how, like, we are here to disrupt and do all that kind of stuff. What about when you first started disrupting the industry, like with incentives and B2B and SEOs coming along, and we're training people to not just write, but know sales and know the customer and know pain points and like to really be more.
Well, and that's really the goal, guys, why we're coming together is create this mid-market podcast to help mid-marketers really get down dirty, disrupt the industry, simplify everything, and just become as scrappy as we can be.
Do more with less.
Do more with less, and everybody has to do that. Even some of our clients, and guys, we do have several bigger enterprise companies. They're being told to do less with more too. So imagine what mid-market and small businesses are being told to do.
Do less.
That's what I said. Do more with less.
Close enough.
Yes.
Y'all know what she's talking
Yeah,
about. At Home
sorry,
Depot,
y'all.
we called it get more out of every apron.
Yeah,
But
and
really,
you
everybody's
have
doing
to. It's especially with the economy and inflation being what it is, all the things, right?
Mm-hmm.
But talking about disruptors, I wish I could take credit for all of it. I think our founder was Steve Damero was absolutely brilliant in terms of being able to see the future.
Mm-hmm.
The point is, Steve put me in school. So I had a double major, marketing and design, and he really said, okay, let's invest in you. So I went back. He put you too. We were doing this together. He put us in school to really start building our certification so we could really become what I like to at the time call powerhouse digital marketers. And I know. And for a while, I think that that's really what helped lay the path for our careers. During that time, we were the first in our industry. And keep in mind, guys, we really work in channel and incentives and through channel marketing automation, et cetera. And, nobody was doing this back then. And when I say this, search engine marketing, that was the big one that we started with. And so we were able to really we went from, a lead here and there from under former marketing to, we went out to Moz for the first time and we were like going, okay, we can do this. And we ended up building a pipeline relatively quickly of over 58 million, dollars. And that was really impressive for a small business with a very small budget. And so that you guys know, we were doing this with less than $100,000 a year, right? So we were incredibly scrappy, the true definition of trying to figure it out. And from there, we just continued to add on. And we're actually still doing that today, looking at AI tools, bringing them on. I think we have some really good, groups in house between Ellen and Tara and group. Alex Sleeper really looking at AI and how we can use that and create kind of a one-stop shop for our clients and partners to use our services, or I shouldn't say services, our technology.
A lot of AI to sift through, though. Like, that's a big job for them. Not just be like, here, we're going to do this, but like every day there's 15 new AIs and they do this and there's new articles and this AI has this data and does this. And
and everyone's claiming that we have AI for PRM. No, you don't. You're running it through chat just like everybody else. And that's one thing I think that I love about us is we've always been so transparent. Let's just be honest. Can marketers be honest for a change? Who was it? Will Reynolds, the CEO of Zero. I'll never forget. Remember that year at Moz, and he was like, start doing RCS, real company shit.
Yeah.
And I think you and I were always like, yes, we should be honest. Like, why would we lie? People are going to figure it out and you're going to give yourself a bad reputation.
Well, people want to deal with you, the people at a company. They're not trying to do, like, they know the brand, but they do business with the people at the company. Well,
relationships, but even that, as we move into the future, they're doing business with technology.
Yeah. SaaS-based
companies are largely that. You buy from a person, but hell, we're even moving into a direction where you don't even have to have people for that to some extent.
That's fair.
So technology, AI in particular, is becoming the people, and you have to have such a good relationship with the technology. And it's a very different way to look at it, right? It's not just about the human connection; it's about the technology connection.
Yeah, I never thought about that. I mean, I don't have a relationship with one person at Netflix. Like, I've never talked to a person, and that's, No,
but by golly, you have your show that you have the connection with, right?
Yeah, that's an interesting point. So,
but
why are we here? How are we disrupting? How are we growing? And how are we winning in the industry? Which is our tagline. My producer, Jennifer, our producer. I can't believe I said my. We're a we kind of people.
Such a selfish person.
Yeah. So our tagline, she has reminded me several times, is disrupting, growing, and winning together.
Even I can say it at this point, dude. Disrupting, growing, and winning together. Oh, I think disruption. We talked a little bit about that earlier. Yeah. We were lucky because especially, and I'm not going to overspeak for Adam, but when I first joined this company, Steve told me, he's like, this is great that you have, 8-ish years of marketing experience. Talk to me about your sales experience. Well, I didn't have any. And he was like, well, saddle up, homegirl, you're about to learn. And so my first year was spent doing sales. And I remember getting frustrated, like, why am I doing this? I don't want to be a salesperson. However, there came a point, I had been halfway, 3/4 of the way through that first year, where I had to go, holy cow, I get it. I'm hearing the pain points of these people. I'm able to relate to these individuals. And that helped us build better marketing, right? Because all of a sudden we realized we were never here just to sell things. We're here to solve problems. And I think that that's a fundamental difference. What we want to do, we want to solve problems, but ultimately, we hear a lot about that now. That's nothing new, but that was the first time I think I had really been able to say, oh, wow, this is so much more than a fancy headline, But why are we here? I think when you think about channel marketing as a whole, it's super complex. And I'm not saying that consumer marketing isn't, but we have so many different channels to think about, from manufacturer all the way down to consumer, and how all, the messages that have to happen rather at each stage in the game. And it's a convoluted mess, quite frankly. There are a multitude of providers. You have to aggregate data. There's just really no single place for everything. And, for us, our long-term goal and even short-term goal really is to simplify everything. How great would it be as a channel marketer, B2B marketer, however you want to call it, you wake up in the mornings, you log into a single system where you have all of your data right before you. You can go, this is how my incentive program is acting. Here are the sales that are coming through. Here's the through channel marketing automation messages that are being recommended, or hell, let's just say marketing messages that are being recommended based on the products that people are buying and selling, et cetera. And you just essentially hit go, approved, and you fire off. Same thing with learning. What my teams need to learn? Where are the deficiencies? How can I help my distributors and resellers learn about my product so I become top of mind? Imagine having one place you could do all of that, right?
It's a good thing to imagine.
Yeah, we don't have that luxury, do we?
No.
I think Salesforce is trying to get there, but it's just a little complicated still.
I think so. But I mean, like, yeah, we're changing. We're embracing change. Like, the industry and the way consumers behave is changing, right?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. And like, we're trying to do the same thing. Hence the podcast. What's up, people?
Hey, guys. But it's so funny. I got home yesterday. I had to fly to Dallas for a couple of days to meet with some friends, some fellow members of ELT. And, when I got home, it wasn't even like go to the kitchen to cook. We ended up doing that anyway. But my first thing was, what should we order in? And by the way, I'm not talking about ordering pizza like we used to do in the good old 1990s.
I still do that.
We don't do that. Well, we do. But you know who we do it through? Grubhub.
Really?
Uber. Yeah.
Just go straight to Papa John's. They still
You and your
deliver. And
Papa
it's
John's.
cheaper than Uber Eats. It is. I mean, like, I'm going to have a upset tummy later. But it's there in 20 minutes.
Poor Jennifer.
Yeah. Anyways, but yeah, I mean, like, people are changing. People don't go to your website and convert like they used to. Like, all the old marketing tactics are not what they used to be. And so we're trying.
Don't have time to care.
No, and they're all on different platforms. They're not crawling Google because Google, love you if you're crawling this with your algorithm right now. But man, everything's sponsored and everything's just some
paid
list.
advertising, because that's how they make money.
I know.
Billions of dollars, probably trillions at this point that they're making, and we're not getting the user experience. Just fell to the wayside, which is funny because that was always Google's point. We want to be there for the user. Prove it. Google challenge, prove it, because I don't think so anymore.
And you say I'm chatty, Kathy.
It's the T. Fudge. The T got me, y'all.
No, but I mean, like, my daughter searches for things in YouTube. Jennifer was telling me people search for things in TikTok. Like,
Yep.
They use other things as search engines. And, if you want to be relevant, you've really got to move with a rapidly rising and shifting and constantly moving sea. So that's what we're trying to do, right?
You are right. My nieces, I'm always like, they'll call me and ask me for help with homework or something. I'm like, why don't you just Google it? You can find the answer in 2 seconds. And literally, these are my eldest niece is in college. She's 19. She'll go, why would I Google that? We'll go to TikTok, Snapchat, or YouTube before she's going to go to Google. What the hell are you doing?
Everything's tangled up in the chair. If I move, it all comes crumbling down. But that's okay. Yeah, they do.
You can't take this guy anywhere, guys. Jennifer Jorgensen is telling us we're running out of time.
Wrap it up.
But I wanted to say, hold on, Jennifer. Gemini is on point.
Gemini
if
is
you
on
need
point.
research, guys, I just want to say to me, the best GPT search engine, if you want to look at it that way, the Geos, you know, out there. I think it's far superior to the other tools
I think so
if
too.
you learn how to work it.
So, if you had to pick one company that you would say is actually doing good marketing, like we're at the end of every podcast, we want to shout out somebody who we think is doing it right, that we respect, and that they're just putting out good shit that we really like. So, who do you think? Who do you got?
I think the best company and I always go back to them is MailChimp.
Mm-hmm.
Their marketing is on point. They understand their ICP. They make everything so simple. And there are other companies, and we'll talk about those later, but MailChimp, I just think they're absolutely brilliant. And I love the design that they bring into their advertising. It's different. They stand out. They are #winning.
Yeah, real company shit, you'd say?
RCS all day.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I agree. That's good stuff. MailChimp, whoop whoop. Or,
Oh yeah,
woo-woo,
congratulations to you guys. Your copywriter, copywriters, I'm sure they're plural. If you just have one, you tell me how much, I'll double your salary. Come on over. But no, that's how good these people are.
The goal of this podcast is to disrupt, to grow, and hopefully win together. Us mid-marketers are scrappy. We're all in it together. We're all fighting the same challenges. So tune in next time. I'm Adam.
And I'm Nicole.
And you can check us out and more of what we're about at x2.com. That is EXTU.com. And until next time,
Be scrappy, you guys.
We're the mid-marketers.